we have more predictive programming in the Economist 2020 edition. In numerology, you do not count the zeros. And so this edition really is about 2022. The world in 22. That is this year. If we look at this magazine, we will find that here, in the bottom corner of the magazine, it says War, Russia. War, Russia. The magazine is about 2022. The world in 22. You do not count the zeros. And this magazine seems to indicate that Donald Trump will be assassinated this year. Trump exit. Trump exit. So this Economist magazine has very cleverly put predictive programming in plain sight, because most people would think this is about 2020 when it's really about 22. And it says War, Russia, and Trump exit. Now the invasion started on 322, same as the number of the skull and bones. So on 322, the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022, the invasion started. That's 322. 22, 22, 22. 322. World War III has started. It is planned. World War III will be a combination of the media and reality. Very similar to what's just happened in the past 2 years with this other thing. Okay, it's going to be the same. Similar. It's going to be a combination of fiction and reality. And it's going to be sold to you by the media. Now, you had the Z on the Russian tanks. There is no Z in the Russian alphabet, and in italics it is a 33 of Freemasonry. In the Ukrainian alphabet there are 33 letters. We look at the Ukrainian alphabet, 33 Z. 33 our translation Z. Z is the symbol for lightning, blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg means lightning war. Today he has sent in the tanks blitzkrieg style. Today is Thursday, which was named after Thor, the god of lightning. Thor is the Norse equivalent of Zeus. The Z comes from Zeus and lightning. Z is a symbol of lightning. So today, even more programming, even more symbolic language used today, because on Thursday, you've had the blitzkrieg, as I have predicted. Now you have interesting cards in the Illuminati game cards. You have this card called Imposter. It seems to relate to Joe Biden. Joe Biden had a facelift before he entered office. So Joe Biden disappeared and had a facelift. And there is a huge dispute about who is the real POTUS of the United States. You have this card, which seems to be about Vladimir Putin. Putin 10 years ago went missing and people thought he was deposed. But when he came back, he had a facelift. The Putin we see today has had major facelift surgery on his face. Now you will notice in the narrative that Joe Biden is being positioned as the Neville Chamberlain character of events. And you can see that they're using some of the old stories that they used in World War II to frame the narrative of this war. Now this war will spread to China, and it will be mainly between China and the United States, and you will have real places wiped out. Now the BBC about 4 years ago did a news broadcast where it says we were going to be zapped by Russia, and that you have 10 minutes to get under a table. Now I do not believe that the United Kingdom will be zapped, but the media may actually announce that we are, and that we have 10 minutes to live. But I believe that it actually will not happen. But because of the power of the media, they can make you believe anything. I was asked, what are the links between the Ukraine and the United Kingdom? Why is the Ukraine important? Well, here we have the Empire of Khazaria. The Empire of Khazaria. The descendants from this land went into Russia. You can see it's located in the Ukraine, went into Eastern Europe, and went into Germany, and went into England. This is why it's important, because it was the land of Khazaria, and you have to research it, because I cannot tell you about it here on YouTube. Now you have the 3 world wars predicted by Albert Pike to his letter to Mazzini. Now what's interesting is that he says at the end of the Third World War, the true doctrine of Lucifer will be public, shown to the public. The true doctrine of Lucifer. Notice that it's the First World War, Second World War, and a Third World War. This is very similar to the 3 degrees of Freemasonry. So the wars are actually copying the first 3 important degrees of Freemasonry. And so you have the 3 degrees of Freemasonry to become a Master Mason. And what is interesting is that there is a story in a Greek play called Oedipus Rex, where Oedipus is asked to solve the riddle of the Sphinx. Remember that sphinxes come from Egypt, and the Sphinx says, what animal walks on 4 legs when it's born, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs in the evening? And Oedipus replies, man. So man starts to walk on 4 legs when he's a baby, 2 legs when he's an adult, and 3 legs with the help of a stick when he's older. And the 3 degrees of Freemasonry symbolically represents that riddle: youth, manhood, and maturity. And so these 3 world wars are actually mimicking the 3 degrees of Freemasonry and the riddle of the Sphinx. Thank you.